great ideas are always accepted here. And TJ, you're full of them. Not full of it, full of them.
Thank you.
Which is a big difference between it and them in that
Factual.
statement. You said the other day, let's do a segment where we name the best player in the history of every franchise in the NFL, taking it division by division.
Indeed.
And we're like, wait a minute, is this Mount Rushmore? No, it's not Mount Rushmore. That's 4.
That's 4.
You're boiling it down to 1.
Yeah, I can't even do the thing that Brockman
best player
hates.
in the history of the franchise.
Indeed.
And so which way do we go about it? Do we just collectively do it? And we said, no, you do it. Your idea. You come up with it. And then we will...
React.
Yes. Yeah. React, debate, poop on it, or...
or say, hey, great job.
Great job.
Great job.
Well, I mean, hopefully better than the golf clap you just provided.
I want that real love.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So, NFL Films music, I think, is necessary.
All right.
And we're taking it division by division, starting
by
today.
division, yes.
We're going to do it every single day.
Every day.
And we're starting with the AFC East.
Great
The East Coast.
Bills, Jets, the Dolphins, and the Patriots.
All East Coast teams.
Great division.
Very familiar with
Oh,
them.
my goodness. All right. Hit the music, please. Jay Felly, thank you. Go for it.
All right, guys, like I said, we like to be historians here on the show, so we just want to provide some historical football knowledge, and, we always want to keep football on our brains here, so that's how this came about.
Yes,
so,
sir.
AFC East, I'm going to kick this off with the easiest team, and that is Chris Brockman's New England Patriots. Now, Patriots, rich history, a lot of great players, and if there was a Mount Rushmore, I would say the Mount Rushmore would include John Hanna, Andre Tippett, Ty Law, Rob Gronkowski. There's so many to choose from, but if we're going to narrow it down to the single greatest player to ever don the New England Patriot uniform, it's
Tony
very
Eason.
Simple. It's very easy.
Steve Grogan.
Thomas Edward Brady.
There we go.
That's the most. That's the easiest answer we're going to have today. Tom Brady
Or entire endeavor.
Yeah,
maybe.
I don't think an answer or a reason isn't necessary. 6 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Quite possibly the GOAT, not just of his position, not of his team, but perhaps in all of the NFL. Okay, now I'm going to switch over. I'm going to go
It's
to
like Larry.
Okay. I'm going to go to the Miami Dolphins because I felt this one was pretty simple too. The Dolphins, again, the only franchise in the history of the NFL to go undefeated. Think about that. Going an entire season and not losing a game.
Yeah, but the player's not from that team, is he?
Not from that team. But like I said, if you were going to name some greats, Jason Taylor would be there. Larry Zonka, Bob Greasy, Larry Little, way too many. But that single greatest player to put that Dolphins helmet on, from the Oakland section of Pittsburgh, Mr. Dan Marino.
There you go.
Come on now.
Dan
Very
Marino.
simply, one of the greats.
Are we including coaches in this
No,
top 4?
Player.
No, just the players.
Okay.
Just the players. And again, another thing, not even necessary to really discuss. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl, obviously, but his body of work speaks for itself.
Got it.
And one of the greatest players of all time. Now we're going to go to the Buffalo Bills. This one got to be a little bit tough, and I know Bills Mafia is watching, so I want to make sure I get this right.
To me, it's a no-brainer.
Like I said, if you were going to compile a Mount Rushmore list of Bills, you have a large group of great players.
Yes.
Including O.J. Simpson and Thurman Thomas, Cornelius Bennett. But I think this came down to 2 players to get this title, and I just broke it down like this, Rich and Chris and Jason. One of the players you could look at and say this guy, without question, is one of the greatest at his position.
Yes.
The other one, very good, but probably not listed in the top 10 of his
You're going in the
position.
direction that I'm talking about.
So, with all due respect to the great Jim Kelly, you got to say the greatest Buffalo Bill of all time is Bruce Smith.
Bingo.
One of the most dominant players in the history of football.
You stuck the landing, sir.
Stuck the landing there, I think. Bruce, dominant. And, when people say Aaron Donald is on pace to become the greatest defensive player of all time, I kind of sit and go, wait a minute. I did see Bruce Smith play football.
Yep.
He was really excellent.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to come to the Jets. I saved them for last, Rich, because this is your team, and I wanted you to feel something about this. The Jets, a lot of really good players. Good to great players in their history.
God.
Guys who could, and I'm not knocking
They're
them.
Hall of Famers.
That's what I'm getting to. I said good players, but there are Hall of Famers. Lots of guys
John
who would
Riggins
go
played for the Jets, by the way.
under Mount Rushmore. You have Kevin Mawai.
Curtis Martin.
I know.
Curtis Martin. Mark Gastineau.
Just say the name.
Don Maynard.
Just say the name.
Well,
Just say the name.
It's coming down to two guys, Chris. And
Two guys.
There were two guys, both of them from the Pittsburgh area, right? Now, the difference being...
I would like the way you're thinking.
Yeah. Now, the one guy, I would say, led the Jets to their greatest season ever. But
Yes.
if we're going to say tops at his position, probably never going to be listed. The other guy, you could make a case, was the best in football at his position for many, many years. And it came down to a coin toss. I wanted to really upset you, but then I decided I wouldn't do it. So it's not going to be Darrelle Revis. I'm going to put Joe Willie Namath in as the greatest New York Jet ever. With all due respect to Darrelle Revis.
Darrelle Revis was...
They made an island after him.
Yeah.
Darrelle Revis had to guard some of the best wide receivers in the game.
He didn't also merge the sport, so... There's that.
So there you go. So there's my picks. Bruce Smith, Dan Marino, Tom Brady, and Joe Namath.
I think that's
players.
a terrific list. Bruce Smith is absolutely the best Buffalo Bill of all time. And you could have from those years, the dynastic Bills teams, a dynasty. They were a dynasty.
And of course,
they just never won the Super Bowl, unfortunately. Nobody will ever make the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. That will never, ever happen again. That won't happen again. Not in our lifetime.
And let me just clear this up.
No way.
Obviously, I was joking with you about the Jets having good players. Obviously, the Jets.
I know.
I listed some great Hall of Famers. Definitely great players there. I don't want to let our joke go out there.
No, it's okay. I get it. And Darrelle Revis was terrific. But Joe, and this is what's so sad about the Jets is that Joe Namath is the guy who's the oldest on that list, and may be, when it's all said and done, when you're done with all 32 teams, the guy who's been retired the longest of anybody's greatest franchise player.
There's a good chance of
but
that,
I'll tell you what, man. Obviously Brady's the no-brainer, and you can go back and forth about some of the great Dolphins from the undefeated season years or the Shula years, but Marino, I think, is the greatest player in the history of that franchise. If you want to talk about greatest Jewish players, it would be Jay Fiedler.
Oh, that's
at the same position, but it's a different endeavor.
Close.
That'll be a different day.
We'll
do that Friday night.
Yeah, I can do that.
We'll do that Friday night at Paul Pierce's dinner. But I will say this. I want to say this just to wrap this whole thing up. Josh Allen has a chance to unseat Bruce Smith.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying
talking 15, 16 years down the line. No.
That is saying a mouthful.
Whoa.
That is saying an absolute mouthful. Out of anybody right now playing in the sport in the AFC East who has a chance to unseat any of those folks, could Zach Wilson unseat?
Well, he wins two Super
Joe,
Bowls, he unseats Joe.
Right? I mean, if he does that in this day and age, he can. So
would Josh Allen just have to win one?
I think
there?
Josh Allen would have to win a couple.
Okay.
And he'd have to have some MVPs in the case. Okay. And he'd have to have 10, 15 years of outstanding longevity. But he has the ability to put together an Aaron Rodgers type career. He has the ability to put together a top-notch Hall of Fame career. He's on that trajectory right now in this day and age of the quarterback-driven league and somebody who can do it with an arm and legs.
Yeah, I think
that's a good point.
He has the chance.
A lot of heavy lifting ahead of him. You're
Oh my
right,
gosh! Because Bruce, to me, again, Bruce Smith was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And we're not talking you could choose a bunch of guys from the K-Gun offense years, a bunch.
Because my first draft, I had Jim Kelly down, and I went, "Ooh, wait a second."
You could do Thurman.
I also
you could
think
do
OJ should be.
O.J. Simpson in the Electric Company years, of course.
Yeah.
No, I understand that, but Bruce Smith is the greatest Buffalo Bill of all time.
I agree.
Okay, just position-wise, looking at that list, it was 3 for 4 quarterbacks. Do you think it's going to be like that for the whole league? Are we going to get
I don't know.
28 quarterbacks
I can tell you, just looking ahead,
26 quarterbacks?
I don't know.
No, they're not, Chris.
I don't think so. I think you're going to see some defensive players.
You're going to see a lot of defensive players.
Certainly if we're talking about the Ravens.
Obviously, the quarterbacks are going to be represented, but it's not just kind of glancing at what I have. This is not a quarterback-heavy list.
Okay.
Like a team like the Vikings, you can go with a defensive player. Yeah. Just throwing it off the top of my head.
Well, that's
Bears. The Bears, right? Walter Payton, obviously.
I think Seattle gets a wide receiver.
Seattle will be an interesting conversation when we get to that.
Yeah, but we're a long way
well
away
done,
from
sir.
NFC
Well done.
West.
Good job.
Well done.